Welcome to P5JS step number 2 in the project. We're going to draw our very first geometric shape, keeping it simple. And I'm going to monkey around with some of the parameters in it to see what kind of variations you can make. Just as a quick footnote to all this, if you're wondering where to jump off from, where you can go find sort of a cheat sheet for all the different geometric shapes, go up to the help and go to reference. It's got a great list, absolutely great list. It'll talk about color, all the different ways of color. It talks about all the different types of shapes. Now we're going to be working in the 2D primitive ones just to keep it straightforward for the beginning. You can draw lines, you can draw points, you can draw quads, you can draw rectangles and squares and triangles, ellipses. These are the ones I want you to choose from. I'd stay away from the line, if you will, and even the point for that matter. But keep it simple: squares, rectangles, triangles, that kind of thing, circles. And then you can monkey around with the different colors, how you would get the different colors. In any case, so that's just a great resource to go to. So if you're wondering how to make green, I guess this shows you how to get all the different colors that you're looking for. Okay, it gives you an example of it, and I think if you hit editor in some case, you hit the editor, you can start changing some of the parameters and watch those colors change. So the fill color, you see how they put here, fill parentheses C. There's a code, and then it gives you the notes in it. It's actually telling you what they want to do, which is actually very handy, and that's what we're going to do here too. So let's go back to our editor and very quickly draw ourselves something. And I will say, let's just go with, how about we draw a rectangle, okay? We're going to go down to line 16 in our code, and we're going to begin with a function. And function what? We want to draw. Draw what? We want to draw, let's go with, we want to draw a rectangle. Now, rectangle. So R-E-C-T, right? What do you mean to me? So rectangle, and we want to use the coordinates, the arguments, if you will, and we'll keep it simple, and we'll go 100, 150, 200, and 50. What does that mean for us? I'll tell you what it means for us. It means that we want to draw a rectangle that has the coordinates of, now these are the arguments we're talking about. Remember, here's your rec. What are we doing? We have a 100, and we're going to walk through this very quickly. And 200, and then 50. This is your X. This is your Y. Now, what is this one? Well, this is going to be your width, and this is going to be your height. So, X, 100, Y, 150, and then the width, 200, and the height, 50. Now, this is not the scale. You can obviously see that. So that's why the drawing is set like it is. So let's go with, now we understand it's 150, 200, 250. Let's run it. Oh, something's not right. Well, what did we forget? After we did our function, we started a new function, right? We did our background, we did our canvas. We're doing a new line. Well, let's make sure that we put our squiggly in there, right? Let's close it up. Let's button it up. Now what is it doing? You can see that we have, by default, a black lined rectangle. Now, a square could be a rectangle. No. A rectangle could be a square, but a square cannot be a rectangle. That's kind of how that works. But think in terms of now we have what we wanted to draw, a rectangle. We need to add characteristics to it. And you're not going to say person, red hair. I mean, if you're describing somebody, you're going to say a red-haired person, right? A tall man, a big triangle, whatever you might be. You're going to put those descriptions in before you actually do your drawing for the rectangle. So let's give ourselves a little space. And in fact, I'm going to add another space up here between 15 and 16 because I want to put my comments in. So what do we want? We want to fill something out. What is the fill? The fill is actually going to be the color. So we draw this square, and the fill is the coloring in the middle. So that's the fill. Well, let's, for the sake of keeping it easy, let's put function draw. Let's go with the fill. Fill what? Red, green, blue. So we have 3 arguments we're going to use. I don't know. I'm feeling green today. So we have 0 red, the darkest green I can get, and no blue. And there you go. Now we have a green rectangle, and it still has this thin line outside of it, right? And that thin line that you have that's outside, now this would be black, but that thin line that outlines the green of the rectangle is called stroke. Not quite sure where they came up with that. It's a very thin line, nonetheless, but it's there. So you can also have it. So let's say you didn't want a skinny line, you wanted a fat line. You could have that stroke. That's not exactly working for me, is it now? You can have that stroke be much bigger, right? Much fatter, weigh a lot more. There's a reason I'm saying it like that. So that's a thick, heavy line. Now you would say the stroke weighs more. It's bigger. So we're back over to the actual drawing itself now, to the geometric drawing. Let's go here. We've described it. We have a green fill, and now we want to change the stroke from the default black to, I don't know, let's say stroke, let's make it red. Keep it easy. So now, do we have a red? Now you can see it's very thin. That's the default. Well, let's just say we want to fatten it up a little bit. And we're going to add some weight to the stroke. So the stroke command, you could look right in the reference for all this. Weight, and I don't know. Let's pick something. It's a one, or you need one parameter or one argument for it. So we're going to make it 50 pixels. Let's make it 25. Okay. So it's seeable, if that's even a word, and describes what we need. Now the rectangle is still the same size, but it's got 25 pixels, if you will, right? 25 clicks of red all around it, evenly, right? On the X, on the Y, on the height, and on the width. If you were to put that parameter too high, let's put it at 200. Well, first of all, it's going to make a 200. it's going to be significantly bigger. And let's just go with, let's code out that line. Let's take it out altogether. We're back to red, a very thin red line. So now I'm going to go back, I'm going to include that weight, and I'm going to put it at 10 so we can see it. All right, now let's tidy up our code. I don't know if it's. I think all those lines are going to probably stay. We're going to go to edit, tidy, and let's get rid of those lines. There you go. So we have our fill at green, our stroke at red. The weight of that stroke, that line around it, is going to be 10. And the rectangle, the arguments or parameters for the rectangle are as such. There you go. And so now we've done our very first drawing. Let's put a comment in here. Draw rectangle with green and red. Don't need to be too specific, but you can see. There you go. We have what, 3 more shapes I'm asking you to do. I do want you to do one without any stroke. I want you to do one with, and I'll do that in the next video, one with no fill, and obviously different shapes as we do all these different things. So let's see where we're at. We are at 11 minutes and 9 seconds. That's a bit lengthier than I intended, but it does get the point across, and I will see you in step number 3.